Welcome back, seekers of wisdom. In today's video, we're diving into the timeless teachings of Stoicism with 44 Stoic habits to fix your life. Get ready to transform your mindset, find inner peace, and master the art of living well. Whether you're new to Stoicism or a seasoned philosopher, these powerful principles will guide you toward a more resilient and a fulfilling life. Let's get started. Habit number 1. Practice gratitude daily. Gratitude is a fundamental practice in Stoicism, reminding us to acknowledge the abundance in our lives, regardless of circumstances. It's about shifting our focus from what we lack to what we have. This daily ritual of gratitude helps us cultivate a positive mindset and fosters resilience in the face of adversity. Every morning, take a few moments to reflect on the things you're grateful for. It could be as simple as the warmth of sunlight streaming through your window, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee, or the love of family and friends. By starting your day with gratitude, you set a positive tone that can carry you through whatever challenges lie ahead. For example, imagine waking up to a rainy day. Instead of feeling gloomy about the weather, you could express gratitude for the rain nourishing the earth and bringing life to plants and trees. This shift in perspective transforms a seemingly negative situation into an opportunity for appreciation. Throughout the day, whenever you feel stressed or overwhelmed, take a moment to pause and find something to be grateful for. It could be the support of a colleague, the beauty of nature, or even the lessons learned from a difficult experience. By focusing on gratitude, you train your mind to see the silver lining in every situation, no matter how challenging. At the end of the day, before you go to sleep, reflect on the positive moments and experiences you've had. Express gratitude for the opportunities you've had, the lessons you've learned, and the people who have enriched your life. This practice not only promotes a sense of fulfillment but also helps you sleep better, as your mind is focused on positivity rather than worry or stress. An example of this evening reflection might be appreciating a delicious meal shared with loved ones. Even if the day was stressful, taking the time to savor good food and meaningful conversations can remind you of the joy and connection present in your life. In essence, practicing gratitude daily is about training your mind to focus on abundance rather than scarcity. It's a powerful tool for cultivating resilience, fostering inner peace, and finding contentment in the present moment. So, start each day with a grateful heart, and watch as your perspective on life transforms for the better. Habit number 2. Embrace what you can't control. Focus your energy on what you can control and let go of what you can't. Acceptance leads to inner peace. In Stoic philosophy, a central teaching is the idea of focusing our efforts and attention only on the things we have control over. This principle, often referred to as the dichotomy of control, emphasizes the importance of accepting the natural limitations of our power and influence. By embracing what we can't control, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and anxiety, allowing us to cultivate inner peace and resilience. Imagine you're stuck in traffic on your way to an important meeting. Despite your frustration and impatience, you come to realize that the traffic jam is beyond your control. No amount of honking or stressing will make the cars move faster. In this situation, you have two choices. You can continue to dwell on the traffic and become more agitated, or you can accept the situation for what it is and focus on what you can control. You decide to embrace what you can't control by practicing acceptance. You take a deep breath and remind yourself that the traffic jam is a part of life, and getting worked up about it won't change anything. Instead, you focus on what you can control, such as using the extra time to listen to an audiobook, catch up on emails, or simply enjoy some quiet moments of reflection. By accepting the situation and shifting your focus to what you can control, you find a sense of calm amidst the chaos. When you finally arrive at your destination, you're better equipped to handle the meeting with a clear and focused mind, rather than being frazzled and stressed from the commute. This principle of embracing what you can't control extends beyond traffic jams to all aspects of life. Whether it's the weather, other people's opinions, or unexpected events, there will always be things outside of our control. Instead of resisting or fighting against these realities, Stoicism teaches us to accept them with grace and equanimity. For example, consider a situation where you're passed over for a promotion at work. Despite your hard work and dedication, the decision ultimately lies with your boss, and you have no control over it. Rather than dwelling on feelings of resentment or disappointment, you choose to embrace what you can't control by focusing on your response. You decide to view the situation as an opportunity for growth and self-reflection. You ask for feedback from your boss to understand areas where you can improve, and you use this setback as motivation to further develop your skills and expertise. In doing so, you not only maintain your inner peace but also take proactive steps towards personal and professional development. In essence, embracing what you can't control is about recognizing the inherent limitations of our power and choosing to direct our energy towards what we can influence. By accepting life's uncertainties with grace and focusing on our response, we can cultivate a sense of inner peace and resilience that empowers us to navigate life's challenges with strength and clarity. Habit number 3. Live in the present moment. Living in the present moment is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics understood that the only moment we truly have is the present one, and dwelling on the past or worrying about the future only detracts from our ability to fully experience life. By embracing the present moment, we can find greater clarity, contentment, and peace of mind. Imagine you're sitting in a beautiful park on a sunny day. You're surrounded by lush greenery, the sound of birds chirping fills the air, and a gentle breeze rustles through the trees. However, instead of enjoying the tranquility of the moment, your mind is preoccupied with thoughts of the past and future. You find yourself ruminating on past mistakes and regrets. You replay conversations in your head, wishing you had said or done things differently. These thoughts weigh heavily on your mind, causing feelings of guilt and shame. At the same time, you're worrying about the future. You're anxious about upcoming deadlines at work, uncertain about your financial situation, and fearful of what tomorrow might bring. These worries consume your thoughts, leaving you feeling stressed and overwhelmed. In this scenario, you're not truly experiencing the present moment. Your mind is trapped in a cycle of rumination and anxiety, preventing you from fully appreciating the beauty and tranquility around you. Now, imagine taking a deep breath and bringing your awareness back to the present moment. You observe the sights, sounds, and sensations around you with a sense of curiosity and wonder. You feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, listen to the melody of the birdsong, and notice the vibrant colors of the flowers blooming nearby. In this state of presence, you let go of the past and future, allowing yourself to fully immerse in the richness of the present moment. You feel a sense of peace wash over you as you realize that in this moment, everything is okay. There's no need to dwell on the past or worry about the future because all that truly matters is right here, right now. Living in the present moment doesn't mean ignoring the past or neglecting to plan for the future. It simply means that we acknowledge the past as a source of lessons and wisdom, and we approach the future with intention and mindfulness. However, our primary focus remains on the present moment, where life unfolds in all its beauty and complexity. For example, consider a student preparing for a crucial exam. Instead of stressing about past mistakes or worrying about the outcome, they focus their attention on the task at hand. They immerse themselves in their studies, fully engaging with the material and giving it their best effort. By living in the present moment, they're able to concentrate more effectively, retain information better, and ultimately perform at their highest level. In essence, living in the present moment is about embracing life as it unfolds, free from the burdens of the past and anxieties of the future. By cultivating mindfulness and awareness, we can find greater joy, peace, and fulfillment in each moment of our lives. Habit number 4. Develop self-awareness. Self-awareness is a foundational practice in Stoicism, as it forms the basis for all other virtues and habits. By developing a deep understanding of ourselves, our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, we can cultivate greater clarity, resilience, and wisdom in our lives. Imagine you're in a situation where you feel overwhelmed with anger. Someone has said or done something that triggers a strong emotional response in you, and you find yourself reacting impulsively, lashing out in frustration. At that moment, you're not fully aware of why you're feeling angry or how your reaction is impacting those around you. Now, imagine practicing self-awareness in this situation. Instead of reacting immediately, you take a step back and observe your thoughts and emotions with curiosity and non-judgment. You ask yourself why you're feeling angry and what underlying beliefs or fears might be contributing to your reaction. Through this process of self-reflection, you realize that your anger is rooted in a sense of injustice. You feel unfairly criticized or misunderstood. You also recognize that your tendency to react impulsively stems from a fear of vulnerability. You're afraid of being hurt or rejected. With this newfound awareness, you're able to respond more intentionally and skillfully to the situation. Rather than lashing out in anger, you choose to communicate calmly and assertively, expressing your feelings and needs in a constructive manner. This not only prevents further conflict, but also fosters greater understanding and connection with the other person. Self-awareness isn't just about understanding our emotions, it also involves recognizing our thoughts and behaviors. For example, suppose you have a tendency to procrastinate on important tasks. By practicing self-awareness, you become aware of the underlying beliefs or habits that contribute to your procrastination, such as fear of failure, perfectionism, or lack of prioritization. With this awareness, you're able to challenge these limiting beliefs and develop strategies to overcome procrastination. You break tasks down into smaller, more manageable steps, set clear deadlines for yourself, and create a supportive environment conducive to productivity. As a result, you become more focused, disciplined, and effective in achieving your goals. In addition to reflecting on our thoughts and emotions, self-awareness also involves observing our behaviors and how they align with our values and goals. For example, suppose you've set a goal to live a healthier lifestyle by exercising regularly and eating nutritious foods. Through self-awareness, you become aware of unhealthy habits or patterns that sabotage your efforts, such as mindless snacking or making excuses to skip workouts. With this awareness, you're able to make conscious choices that support your health and well-being. You cultivate habits like meal prepping, scheduling regular exercise sessions, and practicing mindful eating. As a result, you feel more energized, focused, and fulfilled, knowing that you're living in alignment with your values and aspirations. In essence, self-awareness is the cornerstone of personal growth and transformation. By regularly reflecting on our thoughts, emotions, and actions, we gain deeper insight into ourselves and our lives. This awareness empowers us to respond more skillfully to challenges, cultivate healthier habits, and live with greater purpose and authenticity. Habit number 5, maintain emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is a vital skill in Stoicism, as it enables us to navigate life's challenges with strength, courage, and grace. Rather than being overwhelmed by adversity, Stoics see obstacles as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. By cultivating resilience, we can weather life's storms with resilience and emerge stronger and wiser on the other side. Imagine you're faced with a major setback at work. You've been passed over for a promotion you've been working towards for years. Initially, you feel a wave of disappointment and frustration wash over you. You question your abilities, your worth, and your future prospects. However, instead of succumbing to despair, you choose to view this setback through the lens of Stoic resilience. You remind yourself that setbacks are a natural part of life, and that even the greatest challenges present opportunities for growth and learning. Rather than dwelling on what went wrong or blaming external factors, you focus on what you can control, your response. With this mindset, you approach the situation with a sense of curiosity and determination. You reflect on the feedback you received and identify areas where you can improve and grow. You seek out new learning opportunities, take on challenging projects, and proactively seek feedback from mentors and colleagues. Through this process, you not only bounce back from the setback but also emerge stronger and more resilient than before. You develop new skills, gain valuable insights, and deepen your understanding of yourself and your capabilities. Ultimately, you realize that the setback was a blessing in disguise, a catalyst for growth and self-discovery. Maintaining emotional resilience isn't just about bouncing back from setbacks, it's also about cultivating a mindset of strength and resilience in the face of everyday challenges. For example, suppose you're faced with a difficult conversation with a friend or family member. Rather than avoiding the conversation or reacting defensively, you approach it with openness and courage. You listen actively, express yourself honestly, and seek to understand the other person's perspective. Even if the conversation is uncomfortable or challenging, you remain calm and composed, knowing that every interaction is an opportunity for growth and deeper connection. In addition to facing external challenges, emotional resilience also involves managing our internal struggles, such as negative self-talk, self-doubt, and fear. For example, suppose you're feeling overwhelmed by self-doubt and imposter syndrome in your professional life. Instead of allowing these negative thoughts to paralyze you, you choose to confront them head-on. You challenge your inner critic with evidence of your past successes and strengths. You practice self-compassion and remind yourself that it's okay to make mistakes and to not have all the answers. You take small, deliberate actions towards your goals, building momentum and confidence with each step forward. In essence, maintaining emotional resilience is about embracing life's challenges with courage, strength, and optimism. It's about recognizing that setbacks and obstacles are an inevitable part of the human experience and choosing to face them with resilience and determination. By cultivating this mindset, we can navigate life's ups and downs with grace and emerge stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. Habit number 6. Practice mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation is a cornerstone of Stoic practice, providing a powerful means to cultivate inner peace, clarity of mind, and emotional resilience. By dedicating time each day to quieting the mind and focusing on the present moment, we can develop greater self-awareness, improve our ability to manage stress, and enhance our overall well-being. Imagine starting your day with a simple mindfulness meditation practice. You find a quiet, comfortable space where you won't be disturbed, and you sit down in a relaxed yet alert posture. You close your eyes and bring your attention to your breath, noticing the sensation of the air entering and leaving your nostrils or the rise and fall of your chest and abdomen. As you continue to breathe mindfully, you become aware of the thoughts, emotions, and sensations that arise in your mind and body. Rather than getting caught up in them or trying to push them away, you simply observe them with a sense of curiosity and non-judgment. You acknowledge their presence and then gently return your focus to your breath. In this state of mindfulness, you find a sense of calm and clarity that allows you to start your day with intention and purpose. You feel more grounded and centered, ready to face whatever challenges and opportunities come your way. Now, imagine incorporating mindfulness meditation into your daily routine. Whether it's a short 5-minute session in the morning or a longer practice in the evening, you set aside time each day to nourish your mind and spirit. For example, consider a busy professional who juggles multiple responsibilities and deadlines. Despite their hectic schedule, they prioritize their mental well-being by carving out time for mindfulness meditation each day. During their lunch break, they find a quiet corner in the office or step outside into nature, and they spend 10 minutes practicing mindfulness meditation. They focus on their breath, letting go of the stress and tension accumulated throughout the morning. As they breathe in, they silently recite, breathing in, I calm my body and mind. And as they breathe out, they silently recite, breathing out, I release all tension and stress. Through this practice, they recharge their mental batteries, gaining clarity and perspective that allows them to approach the rest of the day with renewed energy and focus. In addition to daily practice, mindfulness meditation can also be used as a tool to manage stress and cultivate resilience in moments of challenge or difficulty. For example, imagine you're faced with a high-pressure presentation at work. Your heart is racing, your palms are sweaty, and your mind is flooded with thoughts of self-doubt and fear. In this moment, you take a deep breath and bring your attention to the present moment. You ground yourself in the sensations of your breath and the feeling of your feet on the ground. You remind yourself that you're prepared and capable, and that you have the skills and knowledge to succeed. As you continue to breathe mindfully, you feel a sense of calm and confidence wash over you. You step onto the stage with clarity and poise, delivering your presentation with grace and effectiveness. In essence, mindfulness meditation is a powerful tool for cultivating inner peace, clarity, and resilience in our daily lives. By dedicating time each day to quieting the mind and focusing on the present moment, we can develop greater self-awareness, manage stress more effectively, and enhance our overall well-being. Habit number 7, exercise virtue. In Stoicism, virtue is the highest good, and living a virtuous life is essential to achieving eudaimonia, or flourishing. Virtue encompasses a range of qualities, including courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance. By consciously cultivating these virtues in our thoughts, words, and actions, we align ourselves with the natural order of the universe and lead a life of meaning and purpose. Imagine you're faced with a situation where speaking up for what is right requires courage. Perhaps you witness a colleague being unfairly criticized by a supervisor during a team meeting. Despite feeling intimidated and fearful of repercussions, you recognize the importance of standing up for your colleague and speaking out against injustice. In this moment, you embody the virtue of courage by overcoming your fear and taking a stand for what is right. You calmly and assertively address the supervisor, pointing out the unfairness of their remarks and advocating for your colleague. Your actions not only defend your colleague's dignity and integrity but also uphold the principles of fairness and respect within the workplace. Now, imagine another scenario where you're faced with a difficult decision that requires wisdom. Perhaps you're considering whether to accept a job offer that offers a higher salary but requires you to compromise your values and ethics. Despite the allure of financial gain, you recognize that true happiness and fulfillment come from living in alignment with your values and principles. In this moment, you embody the virtue of wisdom by carefully weighing the potential consequences of your decision and considering the long-term impact on your well-being and integrity. You choose to prioritize your values over short-term rewards, ultimately declining the job offer and pursuing opportunities that are more aligned with your principles. In addition to courage and wisdom, exercising virtue also involves practicing justice and temperance in our interactions with others and ourselves. For example, consider a situation where you're tempted to indulge in excessive spending on material possessions, despite knowing that it goes against your financial goals and values. In this moment, you embody the virtue of temperance by practicing self-restraint and moderation. You resist the impulse to make unnecessary purchases and instead choose to prioritize financial responsibility and long-term financial security. By exercising temperance, you cultivate greater self-discipline and resilience, setting yourself up for success in achieving your financial goals. Similarly, embodying the virtue of justice involves treating others with fairness, compassion, and respect. For example, imagine you're in a position of authority at work, responsible for making decisions that impact the livelihoods of your employees. You strive to ensure that your decisions are fair, transparent, and considerate of the well-being of all individuals involved. In conclusion, exercising virtue is at the heart of Stoic philosophy, guiding us to live a life of integrity, purpose, and fulfillment. By embodying virtues like courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance in our thoughts, words, and actions, we align ourselves with the natural order of the universe and contribute to the greater good of humanity. Whether it's standing up for what is right, making wise decisions, practicing self-restraint, or treating others with fairness and compassion, embodying virtue enables us to lead a life of meaning and purpose. Habit number 8. Choose your reactions wisely. One of the fundamental teachings of Stoicism is the understanding that while we may not always have control over external events, we do have control over our internal reactions to those events. This principle is often encapsulated in the famous Stoic maxim, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Imagine you're faced with a challenging situation at work. A project you've been working on for months is suddenly derailed due to unforeseen circumstances, putting deadlines at risk and causing frustration among team members. Initially, you feel a surge of anger and frustration, wanting to lash out or assign blame. In this moment, you pause and remember the Stoic teaching on choosing your reactions wisely. You realize that while you can't control the external circumstances, you can control your response. Instead of reacting impulsively, you take a deep breath and assess the situation with clarity and perspective. You choose to respond with calmness and resilience, focusing on finding solutions rather than dwelling on the problem. You gather your team together, acknowledge the challenges, and encourage open communication and collaboration to brainstorm alternative approaches. By choosing to respond in this way, you not only diffuse tension within the team but also set a positive example for others to follow. Now, imagine another scenario where you receive constructive criticism from a colleague on a project you've been working on. Initially, you feel defensive and hurt, interpreting the feedback as a personal attack on your abilities. However, you remind yourself of the Stoic principle of choosing your reactions wisely. Instead of reacting defensively or dismissing the feedback, you choose to respond with openness and humility. You thank your colleague for their input and express gratitude for the opportunity to learn and improve. You ask clarifying questions to better understand their perspective and identify areas where you can make adjustments. By choosing to respond in this way, you not only foster a culture of constructive feedback and continuous improvement, but also demonstrate emotional maturity and resilience. In addition to challenging situations, choosing your reactions wisely also applies to everyday interactions and experiences. For example, imagine you're stuck in traffic on your way to an important appointment. Instead of succumbing to frustration and road rage, you choose to respond with patience and acceptance. You remind yourself that getting angry or stressed won't make the traffic move any faster. Instead, you use the time stuck in traffic as an opportunity to listen to an audiobook, catch up on podcasts, or practice mindfulness meditation. By choosing to respond in this way, you transform a potentially stressful situation into a moment of peace and self-improvement. In essence, choosing your reactions wisely is about taking ownership of your emotions and responses to external events. It's about recognizing that while we may not always have control over what happens to us, we always have control over how we choose to respond. By cultivating mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and resilience, we can choose to respond to life's challenges with wisdom, grace, and inner peace. Habit number 9. Constantly seek wisdom. Seeking wisdom is a central tenet of Stoicism, emphasizing the importance of continuous learning and personal growth. The Stoics believed that wisdom was essential for navigating life's challenges with clarity, understanding, and virtue. By actively seeking wisdom from a variety of sources, we can broaden our perspectives, deepen our understanding of the world, and live more fulfilling lives. Imagine you're on a journey of self-discovery and personal growth, and seeking wisdom is your compass guiding you along the way. You start by delving into the writings of ancient Stoic philosophers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, absorbing their timeless wisdom on topics such as resilience, virtue, and the nature of the human condition. Through their teachings, you gain insight into practical strategies for managing your emotions, overcoming adversity, and living a life of purpose and meaning. You internalize their lessons on the importance of virtue, self-discipline, and the pursuit of excellence in all aspects of life. Now, imagine you're seeking wisdom not only from philosophical texts but also from real-life mentors and role models. You identify individuals who embody the qualities and virtues you admire, whether it's a respected leader in your field, a wise family member, or a mentor who has walked a similar path. You seek out opportunities to learn from these mentors, whether it's through one-on-one conversations, attending workshops or seminars, or simply observing their actions and behaviors. You ask for guidance, advice, and feedback, humbly acknowledging that wisdom is a journey, and you have much to learn from those who have gone before you. For example, suppose you're a young entrepreneur looking to build a successful business. You seek out a mentor who has years of experience in your industry and has successfully navigated the challenges you're facing. You schedule regular meetings with them to seek their advice, share your ideas, and learn from their insights and experiences. Through your mentorship, you gain valuable wisdom on topics such as leadership, decision-making, and resilience. You learn how to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence and clarity, avoiding common pitfalls and leveraging opportunities for growth. In addition to learning from books and mentors, seeking wisdom also involves embracing the lessons and insights that life itself has to offer. For example, imagine you're faced with a difficult decision that requires you to choose between two equally appealing options. Rather than relying solely on external advice or analysis, you pause and reflect on your own experiences, values, and intuition. You consider the lessons you've learned from past successes and failures, trusting in your own judgment and wisdom to guide you forward. By seeking wisdom constantly, you cultivate a growth mindset and a thirst for knowledge that propels you forward on your journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Whether it's from ancient texts, wise mentors, or the lessons of life itself, wisdom is a lifelong pursuit that enriches our lives and helps us navigate the complexities of the human experience with clarity, understanding, and virtue. Habit number 10. Practice detachment. Detachment is a key concept in Stoicism, emphasizing the importance of not becoming overly attached to external outcomes, possessions, or circumstances. Instead, Stoics advocate for focusing on what is within our control, the thoughts, emotions, and actions, and accepting with equanimity whatever happens outside of our control. Imagine you're deeply invested in a personal goal, such as getting a promotion at work. You've worked hard, put in extra hours, and done everything in your power to make it happen. However, despite your efforts, the promotion goes to someone else. At this moment, you have a choice. You can either become consumed by disappointment, frustration, and resentment, or you can practice detachment and accept the outcome with equanimity. By practicing detachment, you acknowledge that while you can control your actions and efforts, you cannot control the decisions of others or external circumstances. You recognize that your worth and identity are not defined by external achievements or accolades, but by your inner virtues and values. With this mindset, you let go of your attachment to the promotion and find peace in accepting the natural flow of life. You congratulate the person who received the promotion, genuinely wishing them success, and you reflect on the lessons learned and the opportunities for growth that this experience has provided. Now, let's consider another example where detachment can be applied in personal relationships. Suppose you're in a romantic relationship that is experiencing difficulties. Despite your best efforts to communicate, compromise, and work through the issues, the relationship ultimately comes to an end. At this moment, you have a choice. You can cling to the past, holding on to feelings of anger, sadness, and resentment, or you can practice detachment and accept the end of the relationship with grace and acceptance. By practicing detachment, you acknowledge that while you can control your actions and responses, you cannot control the feelings or choices of others. You recognize that holding on to bitterness or regret will only prolong your suffering and prevent you from moving forward. Once again, with the Stoic mindset, You let go of your attachment to the relationship and find peace in accepting the natural ebb and flow of human connections. You express gratitude for the good times shared, forgive any hurts or grievances, and wish your former partner well on their journey. In addition to personal goals and relationships, detachment can also be applied to material possessions and external circumstances. For example, imagine you own a valuable antique watch that has been passed down through generations in your family. One day, the watch is stolen, and despite your best efforts, it cannot be recovered. At this moment, you have a choice. You can become consumed by anger, sadness, and a sense of loss, or you can practice detachment and accept the situation with equanimity. By practicing detachment, you acknowledge that while the watch held sentimental value, it was ultimately just a material possession and not essential to your happiness or well-being. You recognize that attaching your sense of identity or worth to material things only leads to suffering and dissatisfaction. And once again, with this Stoic mindset, you let go of your attachment to the watch and find peace in accepting the impermanence of material possessions. You focus on the memories and experiences shared with your loved ones, rather than the loss of a physical object. In conclusion, practicing detachment is about letting go of attachments to things outside of our control and finding inner peace in accepting the natural flow of life. Whether it's accepting outcomes that don't meet our expectations, navigating the complexities of relationships, or letting go of material possessions, detachment enables us to live with greater equanimity, resilience, and contentment. Habit number 11, face your fear. Face your fears is another fundamental and noteworthy teaching of Stoicism. To fully understand and apply this habit, we must delve into its essence and explore how it can be manifested in our lives. Facing one's fears is not merely an act of courage, it is a deliberate choice to confront the obstacles that stand in the way of our growth and happiness. In Stoicism, fear is seen as a natural response to perceived threats or uncertainties, but it is also recognized as a barrier to living a fulfilling life. By acknowledging our fears and confronting them head-on, we reclaim our power and autonomy over our emotions and actions. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This statement highlights the Stoic understanding that our fears are often magnified by our minds, leading to unnecessary suffering. When we avoid facing our fears, we allow them to control us, limiting our potential and hindering our progress. To illustrate this principle, let's consider the example of Tina, a talented musician who dreams of performing in front of large audiences. However, Tina struggles with stage fright, a fear that has prevented her from pursuing her passion to its fullest extent. Whenever she thinks about performing in public, she experiences overwhelming anxiety, imagining the worst-case scenarios of forgetting her lines or making mistakes in front of the audience. Despite her fear, Tina decides to apply the Stoic principle of facing her fears. Instead of avoiding performance opportunities, she actively seeks them out, starting with small, intimate gatherings of friends and family. With each performance, Tina confronts her anxiety and learns to manage her fear through preparation and practice. As Tina continues to face her fears, her confidence grows, and she gradually expands her comfort zone. She joins a local band and begins performing at small venues, gradually working her way up to larger stages. Along the way, she encounters setbacks and challenges, but she perseveres, drawing strength from her Stoic mindset. Through her journey, Tina learns that fear is not an insurmountable obstacle but a natural part of the human experience. By facing her fears, she discovers a newfound sense of resilience and self-assurance, allowing her to live a more fulfilling and authentic life. In addition to personal growth, the Stoic principle of facing fears also has broader implications for society as a whole. In times of uncertainty or crisis, individuals and communities must confront their fears rather than succumb to panic or despair. By embracing challenges with courage and resilience, we can overcome adversity and emerge stronger than before. In conclusion, The Stoic principle of facing fears is a powerful reminder of our capacity for growth and self-mastery. By acknowledging and confronting our fears, we can break free from their grip and live with courage, resilience, and purpose. Like Tina, we can transform our fears into opportunities for growth and become the architects of our own destiny. Habit number 12, focus on what's within your power. Among the core tenets of Stoicism, focus on what's within your power stands out as a guiding principle that emphasizes the importance of directing our attention and efforts towards things we can control, while letting go of those we cannot. To grasp the depth of this principle, let's explore its essence and implications, accompanied by an illustrative example. At its core, Stoicism teaches us that much of our suffering comes from trying to control things beyond our influence. By focusing on what's within our power, we cultivate a mindset of resilience, self-awareness, and inner peace. This principle is beautifully encapsulated in the writings of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who said, "Some things are within our power, while others are not." Within our power are opinion, motivation, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever is of our own doing. Not within our power are our body, our property, reputation, office, and, in a word, whatever is not of our own doing. To better understand this principle, let's consider the example of Alex, a young professional navigating the competitive world of corporate finance. Alex is ambitious and hardworking, but he often finds himself stressed and anxious about factors beyond his control, such as office politics, market fluctuations, and the decisions of his superiors. Despite his best efforts, Alex cannot change the behavior of his colleagues or predict the unpredictable nature of financial markets. However, he can control his own actions, attitudes, and responses to these external circumstances. Applying the Stoic principle, Alex decides to focus on what's within his power, his work ethic, his ability to learn and adapt, and his commitment to personal growth. Instead of wasting energy worrying about factors beyond his control, Alex channels his efforts into honing his skills and delivering high-quality work. He focuses on building positive relationships with his colleagues, cultivating a supportive network within the organization. When faced with setbacks or challenges, Alex maintains a Stoic mindset, viewing them as opportunities for learning and growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. As a result of his focus on what's within his power, Alex experiences a transformation in both his professional and personal life. He becomes known for his reliability, integrity, and resilience in the face of adversity. While he cannot control the outcomes of his efforts, he takes pride in knowing that he has done everything within his power to succeed. Moreover, Alex's newfound mindset extends beyond the workplace. In his personal life, he applies the Stoic principle to cultivate gratitude for the things he has, rather than dwelling on what he lacks. He nurtures his relationships with friends and family, recognizing that these connections are among life's most precious gifts. By focusing on what's within his power, Alex embodies the Stoic ideal of living in accordance with nature. He accepts the inherent uncertainty of life while taking responsibility for his own thoughts, actions, and emotions. In doing so, he discovers a sense of inner peace and contentment that transcends external circumstances. In a world filled with distractions and uncertainties, the Stoic principle of focusing on what's within your power offers a timeless lesson in self-mastery and resilience. Like Alex, we can choose to direct our attention and efforts towards the things we can control, letting go of futile attempts to manipulate the uncontrollable. In doing so, we can cultivate a life of purpose, fulfillment, and inner tranquility. Habit number 13, embrace impermanence. The Stoic habit to embrace impermanence stands out as a powerful reminder of the transient nature of existence and the importance of cultivating acceptance and resilience in the face of change. At its core, Stoicism teaches us to recognize that everything in life is impermanent. This includes not only the physical world around us, but also our own thoughts, emotions, and experiences. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius eloquently captures this sentiment in his Meditations, stating, "Everything is ephemeral, both what remembers and what is remembered." To illustrate the principle of embracing impermanence, let's consider the example of Maya, a successful entrepreneur who built a thriving tech startup from the ground up. Maya poured her heart and soul into her business, overcoming numerous obstacles and setbacks along the way. She achieved considerable success, earning recognition and acclaim within her industry. However, despite her achievements, Maya soon found herself grappling with a profound sense of discontent and restlessness. She became consumed by fears of losing everything she had worked so hard to build, clinging desperately to the illusion of permanence. Then, Maya discovered the teachings of Stoicism, particularly the principle of embracing impermanence. She realized that her fear of loss was rooted in a fundamental misunderstanding of the nature of reality. Nothing in life is permanent, neither success nor failure, joy nor sorrow. By clinging to the past or worrying about the future, Maya was only causing herself unnecessary suffering. Inspired by Stoic philosophy, Maya began to cultivate a mindset of acceptance and equanimity. She learned to embrace the impermanence of her business and the inevitable changes that come with it. Instead of resisting the natural ebb and flow of life, Maya chose to surrender to the present moment, finding beauty and meaning in the fleeting experiences of each day. As Maya embraced impermanence, she discovered a newfound sense of freedom and inner peace. She no longer felt shackled by the relentless pursuit of success or paralyzed by the fear of failure. Instead, she approached her work with a sense of curiosity and detachment, recognizing that both triumphs and setbacks were simply part of the ever-changing tapestry of life. Moreover, Maya's newfound perspective extended beyond her professional life and permeated every aspect of her existence. She learned to cherish each moment with her loved ones, knowing that life's precious moments are fleeting. She savored the beauty of nature, finding solace in the timeless rhythms of the natural world. By embracing impermanence, Maya transformed her relationship with life itself. She realized that true happiness does not come from clinging to external circumstances but from cultivating an inner sense of peace and contentment. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, "Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to, rather, wish that what happens happen the way it happens, then you will be happy." In a world characterized by constant change and uncertainty, the Stoic principle of embracing impermanence offers a profound antidote to the anxieties and stresses of modern life. Like Maya, we can choose to embrace the impermanent nature of existence, finding liberation and serenity in the acceptance of life's inevitable flux. Habit number 14, practice empathy. Stoicism teaches us to practice empathy, not merely as a moral duty but as a means to achieve inner peace and harmony with the universe. Empathy, in the Stoic context, is a recognition of our shared humanity and interconnectedness. It is the understanding that all beings are part of the same rational cosmos, subject to the same natural laws and vulnerable to the same trials and tribulations. When we practice empathy, we cultivate a sense of kinship with others, realizing that their joys and sorrows, triumphs and struggles, are fundamentally no different from our own. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "What injures the hive, injures the bee." This simple analogy captures the essence of Stoic empathy, the recognition that our individual well-being is inseparable from the well-being of the whole community. Just as a bee's fate is tied to the health of its hive, so too is our fate tied to the welfare of humanity. When we empathize with others, we understand that their suffering diminishes us, just as their joy uplifts us. Empathy in Stoicism is not limited to fellow humans but extends to all living beings. The Stoics believed in the unity of nature, seeing the entire cosmos as a single, interconnected web of existence. Thus, to practice empathy is to recognize our kinship not only with our fellow humans but with all creatures. This recognition fosters a deep sense of compassion and responsibility towards the world around us, motivating us to act with kindness and benevolence. However, Stoic empathy is not mere sentimentality or emotionalism. It is grounded in reason and guided by wisdom. The Stoics emphasize the importance of rationality in understanding and responding to the suffering of others. Instead of being overwhelmed by emotions, they advocated for a calm and measured approach to empathetic engagement. This rational empathy enables us to see things as they truly are, to discern the underlying causes of suffering, and to respond with wisdom and effectiveness. Moreover, Stoic empathy does not mean indulging in pity or sorrow for others' misfortunes. Instead, it teaches us to respond with courage and resilience. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of maintaining our inner tranquility even in the face of the most challenging circumstances. By practicing empathy, we learn to cultivate a mindset of acceptance and equanimity, accepting the inevitability of suffering while striving to alleviate it wherever possible. In summary, the Stoic principle of practicing empathy is a profound call to recognize our interconnectedness with all beings and to respond with compassion, wisdom, and resilience. It teaches us to view the world with a clear and rational eye, to understand the suffering of others, and to act with kindness and benevolence. By embracing empathy, we not only fulfill our moral duty as human beings, but also find greater peace and harmony within ourselves and with the universe. Habit number 15, find joy in simplicity. The Stoic habit of finding joy in simplicity is a profound teaching that encourages us to cultivate contentment and happiness through a life of moderation and appreciation for the essentials. Rooted in the ancient philosophy of Stoicism, this principle invites us to embrace simplicity as a pathway to inner peace and fulfillment, freeing ourselves from the endless pursuit of material wealth and external validation. At its core, finding joy in simplicity means recognizing that true happiness does not come from the accumulation of possessions or the pursuit of pleasure, but from a deep sense of inner tranquility and gratitude for the present moment. The Stoics believe that excessive desires and attachments only lead to suffering, as they tether us to the fleeting and often uncontrollable aspects of life. By simplifying our needs and desires, we can liberate ourselves from this cycle of discontent and find lasting contentment. One example of finding joy in simplicity comes from the life of Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher. Despite being born into slavery, Epictetus found profound happiness and inner peace through his commitment to Stoic principles. He lived a simple life, possessing only the bare necessities and finding contentment in the practice of virtue and the pursuit of wisdom. Epictetus famously said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." In today's world, finding joy in simplicity can be seen in various aspects of life, from material possessions to daily habits and relationships. For instance, instead of constantly seeking the latest gadgets or luxury items, one can find joy in the simplicity of owning only what is truly necessary and appreciating the beauty in simplicity. This might mean decluttering one's living space, simplifying one's wardrobe, or embracing minimalist principles in consumption. Moreover, finding joy in simplicity extends beyond material possessions to the way we live our lives. It involves simplifying our routines, focusing on what truly matters, and letting go of unnecessary distractions. For example, instead of filling our schedules with endless commitments and obligations, we can find joy in simplicity by prioritizing our time and energy on activities that bring us fulfillment and meaning, such as spending time with loved ones, pursuing hobbies, or engaging in acts of kindness and service. Another example of finding joy in simplicity is in our approach to relationships. Instead of seeking validation and approval from others or pursuing shallow connections based on status or wealth, we can find joy in the simplicity of genuine human connections built on mutual respect, understanding, and empathy. This might involve spending quality time with friends and family, nurturing meaningful relationships, and appreciating the beauty of human connection. Ultimately, finding joy in simplicity is about embracing a mindset of gratitude and appreciation for the abundance that surrounds us, even in the most ordinary moments of life. It's about recognizing that true happiness is not found in the pursuit of external pleasures or the accumulation of wealth, but in the simplicity of living in alignment with our values and finding contentment in the present moment. By embracing simplicity, we can cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace, fulfillment, and joy in our lives. Habit number 16. Practice negative visualization. The Stoic habit of practicing negative visualization is a powerful technique aimed at cultivating resilience, gratitude, and a deeper appreciation for life's blessings. Rooted in the ancient philosophy of Stoicism, this practice involves imagining the worst-case scenarios in our lives, not to induce fear or anxiety, but to prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally for adversity, and to foster a profound sense of gratitude for what we have. At its core, negative visualization encourages us to confront our fears and anxieties by visualizing the loss or absence of the things we hold dear. By contemplating the possibility of losing our loved ones, our possessions, or our health, we can develop a greater resilience and appreciation for the present moment. One of the most famous examples of negative visualization comes from the Stoic philosopher Seneca. In his letters to Lucilius, Seneca frequently discusses the importance of contemplating our mortality and the impermanence of all things. He writes, "Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" In modern terms, negative visualization might involve imagining losing your job, your home, or your health. By mentally preparing for these scenarios, we can develop a greater resilience and resourcefulness in the face of adversity. Moreover, negative visualization helps us appreciate the things we often take for granted, such as our relationships, our possessions, and our health. For example, imagine you have a stable job and a comfortable home. By practicing negative visualization, you might imagine losing your job and being unable to pay your bills, or losing your home due to a natural disaster. While these scenarios may be distressing to think about, they can also help you recognize the fragility of your current situation and the importance of being grateful for what you have. Negative visualization also helps us overcome the hedonic treadmill, the tendency to adapt to positive circumstances and constantly seek more. By imagining the loss of our possessions or achievements, we can cultivate a greater sense of contentment and gratitude for what we already possess. Moreover, negative visualization fosters a sense of empathy and compassion towards others. By contemplating the suffering and struggles of others, we can develop a greater understanding and appreciation for the challenges they face. This can inspire us to act with kindness and generosity towards others, knowing that their struggles could easily be our own. Furthermore, negative visualization can be a source of motivation and inspiration. By confronting our fears and anxieties, we can develop a greater sense of courage and determination to overcome obstacles in our lives. Instead of being paralyzed by fear, we can use negative visualization as a tool to empower ourselves and take proactive steps towards achieving our goals. In summary, the practice of negative visualization is a powerful technique for cultivating resilience, gratitude, and a deeper appreciation for life's blessings. By imagining the worst-case scenarios and confronting our fears, we can develop a greater sense of resilience and resourcefulness in the face of adversity. Moreover, negative visualization helps us overcome the hedonic treadmill, fosters empathy and compassion towards others, and serves as a source of motivation and inspiration in our lives. Habit number 17. Take responsibility for your life. The Stoic habit of taking responsibility for your life is a foundational concept that empowers individuals to acknowledge their agency in shaping their own destinies. Rooted in the ancient philosophy of Stoicism, this principle emphasizes self-awareness, self-discipline, and the recognition of one's ability to control their thoughts, actions, and responses to external events. At its core, taking responsibility for your life means accepting ownership of your choices, actions, and outcomes. Instead of blaming external circumstances or other people for your situation, You recognize that you have the power to determine your own path in life. This mindset shift is liberating because it enables you to break free from the victim mentality and take proactive steps towards achieving your goals and living a fulfilling life. One of the key Stoic teachings on taking responsibility comes from Epictetus. He famously said, "We are disturbed not by events, but by the views which we take of them." This statement encapsulates the Stoic belief that it is not external events themselves that cause us distress, but rather our interpretations and responses to those events. By taking responsibility for our thoughts and reactions, we can maintain inner peace and tranquility even in the face of adversity. An example of taking responsibility for your life can be seen in the story of Nelson Mandela. Despite enduring 27 years of imprisonment under the apartheid regime in South Africa, Mandela refused to succumb to bitterness or resentment. Instead, he chose to take responsibility for his own destiny by focusing on forgiveness, reconciliation, and the pursuit of justice. Mandela's unwavering commitment to his principles ultimately led to the end of apartheid and his election as the first black president of South Africa. In modern terms, taking responsibility for your life involves several key principles. Let's discuss them one by one. Number 1. Self-awareness. This is the foundation of taking responsibility. It requires honest introspection and an understanding of your strengths, weaknesses, values, and goals. By knowing yourself, you can make informed decisions and take actions aligned with your values and aspirations. Number 2. Self-discipline. Taking responsibility requires discipline and self-control. It means making choices that may be difficult or uncomfortable in the short term, but are ultimately in line with your long-term goals and values. This might involve developing healthy habits, managing your time effectively, and resisting impulses that detract from your well-being. Number 3. Accountability. Taking responsibility means owning up to your mistakes and shortcomings. Instead of making excuses or blaming others, you acknowledge your role in any setbacks or failures and take steps to learn and grow from them. This might involve apologizing when you've wronged someone, making amends, and committing to do better in the future. Number 4. Adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and taking responsibility means adapting to change and uncertainty. It involves embracing challenges as opportunities for growth, rather than as obstacles to be avoided. This might mean seeking out new opportunities, learning from setbacks, and adjusting your plans when necessary. Number 5. Gratitude. Finally, taking responsibility involves cultivating a sense of gratitude for the opportunities, relationships, and experiences in your life. By appreciating what you have, rather than focusing on what you lack, you can find contentment and fulfillment in the present moment. In summary, the Stoic principle of taking responsibility for your life empowers individuals to recognize their agency in shaping their own destinies. By cultivating self-awareness, self-discipline, accountability, adaptability, and gratitude, you can take proactive steps towards living a meaningful and fulfilling life, regardless of external circumstances. Like Mandela, you have the power to choose your response to life's challenges and to create a life that reflects your values and aspirations. The Stoic habit of serving others selflessly is a profound teaching that emphasizes the importance of compassion, altruism, and contributing to the well-being of society. Rooted in the ancient philosophy of Stoicism, this principle encourages individuals to transcend their own self-interest and find fulfillment in acts of kindness, generosity, and service to others. The name says it all. Serving others selflessly means prioritizing the welfare of others above one's own desires and needs. It involves acting with kindness, empathy, and compassion towards all beings, regardless of their status, background, or beliefs. This mindset shift from self-centeredness to other-centeredness is central to Stoic ethics, as it fosters a sense of interconnectedness and community among individuals. One of the key Stoic teachings on serving others comes from the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. In his Meditations, Aurelius writes, "The best way to get something done is to just do it." The best way to live a good life is to act on your most genuine impulses. This statement highlights the Stoic belief that true fulfillment comes from living in accordance with our highest principles, including the virtue of benevolence towards others. An example of serving others selflessly can be seen in the life of Mother Teresa. Despite facing numerous challenges and obstacles, Mother Teresa dedicated her life to serving the poorest of the poor in Calcutta, India. She founded the Missionaries of Charity, a religious congregation dedicated to helping those in need, and spent decades providing food, shelter, and medical care to the sick and destitute. Mother Teresa's selfless service inspired millions around the world and earned her numerous awards, including the Nobel Peace Prize. In summary, the Stoic principle of serving others selflessly is a powerful reminder of the importance of compassion, altruism, and contributing to the well-being of society. By cultivating compassion, empathy, generosity, humility, and commitment, we can make a meaningful difference in the lives of others and contribute to a more compassionate and harmonious world. Like Mother Teresa, we have the power to serve others selflessly and create a lasting legacy of love and compassion for future generations. Habit number 19, live in alignment with nature. The Stoic habit live in alignment with nature is a fundamental concept that lies at the heart of Stoic philosophy. Developed by ancient philosophers such as Zeno of Citium, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, this principle offers a profound guide for living a life of virtue, tranquility, and fulfillment. Living in alignment with nature doesn't mean simply going out into the wilderness and communing with the trees, although that's not a bad idea. Rather, it's about understanding and accepting the natural order of the universe and shaping our lives in accordance with it. At its core, the Stoic concept of nature refers to the rational order that governs the cosmos. This order encompasses both the physical laws of the universe and the inherent rationality present in human beings. Stoics believe that everything in the universe, including human beings, is interconnected and governed by this rational order. One key aspect of living in alignment with nature is understanding the distinction between what is within our control and what is not. Epictetus famously wrote, "Some things are within our power, while others are not." According to Stoic philosophy, we should focus our efforts and attention on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, while accepting with equanimity those things that are beyond our control, such as external events and other people's actions. This principle encourages us to cultivate inner virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. By developing these virtues, we align ourselves with the rational order of the universe, living in harmony with our true nature as rational beings. For example, wisdom enables us to discern what is truly important in life, while courage gives us the strength to face challenges with resilience and determination. Living in alignment with nature also means recognizing the impermanent and transient nature of the external world. The Stoics emphasize the concept of amor fati, or love of fate, which involves accepting and embracing whatever happens to us as necessary and beneficial for our growth and development. Instead of resisting or lamenting change, we should embrace it as an opportunity for learning and adaptation. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches us to cultivate an attitude of gratitude and contentment, regardless of our external circumstances. By focusing on what we have rather than what we lack, we can find joy and fulfillment in the present moment. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Living in alignment with nature also involves living in harmony with other human beings. Stoics emphasize the importance of social virtue, advocating for kindness, empathy, and cooperation in our interactions with others. By treating others with respect and compassion, we contribute to the well-being of society as a whole, creating a more harmonious and just world. In conclusion, the Stoic principle of living in alignment with nature offers a profound guide for living a life of virtue, tranquility, and fulfillment. By understanding and accepting the rational order of the universe, cultivating inner virtues, embracing change, practicing gratitude, and fostering harmonious relationships with others, we can lead lives that are truly in harmony with our own nature and the nature of the cosmos. Habit number 20. Remember your mortality. Finally, the Stoic principle, remember your mortality, is a powerful reminder of the impermanence of life and the importance of living each moment with intention and purpose. This principle, deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, encourages us to confront the reality of our own mortality and use it as a catalyst for living a meaningful and fulfilling life. At its core, remember your mortality serves as a wake-up call, urging us to recognize the fleeting nature of our existence. Instead of denying or avoiding thoughts of death, Stoicism encourages us to embrace them as a means of gaining perspective and clarity about what truly matters. One of the most famous Stoic exercises related to this principle is the contemplation of death. Stoics would regularly reflect on the fact that life is transient and that death is inevitable for all living beings. This practice is not meant to induce fear or despair, but rather to instill a sense of urgency and purpose in our lives. By acknowledging our own mortality, we are reminded to make the most of the time we have and to focus on what is truly important. For example, imagine a successful businessman named John who spends most of his time chasing after material wealth and social status. Despite his achievements, John often feels a sense of emptiness and dissatisfaction in his life. One day, John receives news that a close friend has passed away suddenly. This unexpected loss shocks John and forces him to confront his own mortality. As John reflects on the fragility of life, he begins to reassess his priorities and values. He realizes that his relentless pursuit of wealth and status has left him feeling disconnected from his loved ones and from his own sense of purpose. Inspired by the Stoic principle of remembering his mortality, John decides to make some changes in his life. He starts by spending more quality time with his family and friends, nurturing his relationships and creating lasting memories. Instead of being consumed by work, John learns to appreciate the simple joys of life, such as watching the sunset or taking a leisurely walk in nature. He also becomes more involved in charitable activities, using his resources to make a positive impact in his community. By embracing the reality of his own mortality, John undergoes a profound transformation. He no longer fears death, but sees it as a natural part of the human experience. This shift in perspective frees him from the anxiety and stress that once plagued him, allowing him to live more fully in the present moment. John's story illustrates how the Stoic principle of remembering one's mortality can lead to a deeper appreciation for life and a greater sense of fulfillment. By confronting the inevitability of death, we are inspired to live with intention, to cherish our relationships, and to pursue what truly matters to us. In conclusion, remember your mortality challenges us to confront the reality of our own finitude and to live each day as if it were our last. By embracing this principle, we can find meaning and purpose in our lives, making the most of the time we have and leaving behind a legacy that reflects our values and aspirations. In the next section, we will go over some habits that will encourage you to never chase love. Number 1. To truly understand the principle of never chase love, it's essential to delve into the Stoic perspective on relationships. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy founded in Athens by Zeno of Citium around 300 BC, offers invaluable wisdom that can guide us through the complexities of modern romance. At the heart of Stoicism is the concept of focusing on what is within our control and accepting what is not. This fundamental idea is encapsulated in Epictetus' famous quote, "Some things are within our control, and some things are not." When it comes to love and relationships, this wisdom is particularly pertinent. In the realm of love, what is within our control? Our own thoughts, actions, and reactions. We can choose to cultivate qualities such as kindness, compassion, and honesty. We can work on improving ourselves, becoming the best versions of ourselves that we can be. We can choose how we respond to the ups and downs of romantic relationships. But what about the things we cannot control? Other people's feelings, actions, and choices. We cannot force someone to love us, no matter how much we may desire it. We cannot make someone stay if they choose to leave. We cannot control whether or not someone will reciprocate our feelings. Trying to control these aspects of love is futile and will only lead to frustration and disappointment. This is where the principle of never chase love comes into play. Chasing love is essentially an attempt to control something that is beyond our control, the feelings and actions of another person. It's like trying to catch the wind in a net. No matter how hard we try, it will always slip through our fingers. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, ourselves. We can choose to love ourselves fully and unconditionally, regardless of whether or not we receive love from others. We can cultivate inner strength and resilience, so that we are not dependent on external validation for our happiness. The Stoics also emphasize the importance of accepting reality as it is, rather than clinging to our desires and expectations. Seneca, one of the most prominent Stoic philosophers, wrote extensively about the need to embrace adversity and learn from it. In the context of relationships, this means accepting that not every romantic connection will be successful, and that's okay. This doesn't mean that we should become indifferent or apathetic towards love. On the contrary, Stoicism encourages us to fully embrace the experience of love while recognizing its inherent impermanence. We can cherish the moments of connection and intimacy that we share with others, knowing that they may not last forever. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches us to approach relationships with a sense of detachment, not in the sense of emotional distance, but in the sense of being free from attachment to outcomes. We can love deeply and passionately, without becoming enslaved to the idea of possessing or controlling the object of our affection. In essence, the Stoic perspective on love and relationships is one of balance and wisdom. It encourages us to cultivate inner strength, accept reality as it is, and embrace love with an open heart while letting go of the need to chase after it. By following these principles, we can navigate the complexities of modern romance with grace and resilience. Number 2. Love has been romanticized throughout history as the ultimate pursuit, the pinnacle of human experience. From epic tales of star-crossed lovers to modern-day romantic comedies, we are bombarded with images of love as something to be chased, pursued, and fought for at all costs. But is this portrayal of love accurate, or is it merely an illusion perpetuated by society? To understand the illusion of chasing love, we must first recognize what it means to chase love. Chasing love is the act of relentlessly pursuing someone else's affection, validation, or approval, often at the expense of our own well-being and self-respect. It's the belief that if we just try hard enough, if we just do or say the right things, we can win someone's love and make them stay. But here's the harsh truth: love cannot be chased. Love is not a prize to be won or a conquest to be achieved. It's not something that can be captured or controlled. Love is a natural, organic process that arises between two people who are compatible and willing to grow together. It's a mutual exchange of emotions, trust, and vulnerability that cannot be forced or manipulated. When we chase love, we are essentially chasing an illusion, a fantasy that exists only in our minds. We become so fixated on the object of our desire that we lose sight of reality. We convince ourselves that if we can just win this person's love, our lives will be complete, and all our problems will disappear. But in reality, chasing love only leads to frustration, disappointment, and a never-ending cycle of longing and rejection. Chasing love also comes with a heavy price: the erosion of our self-respect and dignity. When we chase after someone who is not interested in us or who mistreats us, we are essentially telling ourselves that we are not worthy of love and respect. We compromise our values, our boundaries, and our integrity in a desperate attempt to win someone over. Moreover, chasing love often leads to a distorted view of ourselves and our worth. We start to measure our value based on whether or not someone else loves us, rather than recognizing our inherent worth as human beings. We become dependent on external validation for our happiness, which is a recipe for insecurity and unhappiness. But perhaps the most insidious aspect of chasing love is the way it distorts our perceptions of reality. When we chase after someone who is not interested in us, we may convince ourselves that they are playing hard to get or that they secretly harbor feelings for us. We interpret every ambiguous gesture or word as evidence that they are just waiting for us to prove our love to them. In reality, they may simply not be interested, and our relentless pursuit only serves to push them further away. So, if chasing love is an illusion that only leads to pain and disappointment, what is the alternative? The alternative is to let go of the need to chase after love and instead focus on cultivating love within ourselves. This means learning to love and accept ourselves unconditionally, flaws and all. It means prioritizing our own well-being and self-respect above all else. When we love ourselves fully and unconditionally, we no longer feel the need to chase after someone else's love. We become complete and whole within ourselves, and we attract others who see and appreciate us for who we truly are. This is the essence of never chase love, to recognize that love cannot be chased, but it can be cultivated within ourselves and shared with others in a healthy, authentic way. Number 3. If a relationship is hindering your personal development, it's a warning sign. Pause for a moment. Have you ever felt trapped, like you're stagnant because someone close to you isn't supporting you, or worse, actively pulling you down? It's a challenging situation, isn't it? Seneca was a staunch advocate for personal growth and self-betterment. He believed that a fulfilling life requires continuous evolution, learning, and pushing our limits. So, if you're in any kind of relationship, be it with a friend, family member, or partner, and you sense you're not progressing, Seneca would likely advise you to take heed. That's a red flag you can't afford to overlook. Now, I'm not suggesting every relationship must constantly challenge you or break world records, but the people who truly care about you should want to witness your growth. They should be your cheerleaders, your pillars of support, not weights dragging you into the abyss of what-ifs and if-onlys. It's worthwhile to sit down and have a candid conversation with yourself. Ask, why am I still holding onto this relationship? It's a tough question, but it's necessary. Here's the thing, authentic connections, the ones that truly matter, should uplift you. They should inspire you to be better today than you were yesterday. Stoicism teaches us the value of surrounding ourselves with individuals who bring positivity into our lives. It's not about amassing friends or seeking popularity. It's about creating a circle that enriches you, fosters growth, and resonates with your values. So, if you find yourself in a relationship that feels more like sinking in quicksand than soaring on a launch pad, perhaps it's time to reconsider its role in your life. Remember, it's not selfish to desire growth, it's human. Sometimes, growth means releasing those who impede us, not with resentment, but with gratitude for the lessons learned and the strength gained from knowing when to bid farewell. Reflect on your relationships. Are they pathways to your best self, or are they obstacles to your progress? And remember, the journey of self-improvement is never a solitary one. We need the right companions to truly make it meaningful. Number 4. In the realm of relationships, there exists a delicate balance between what we can control and what we cannot. This balance is where Stoicism truly shines, offering profound insights into navigating the intricacies of human connection. At the heart of Stoicism lies the concept of the dichotomy of control, a fundamental principle articulated by the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. Epictetus teaches us that there are things within our control, internals, and things outside our control, externals. In relationships, understanding and applying this principle can be transformative. Internals encompass our thoughts, emotions, desires, and actions, elements over which we have complete autonomy. Externals, on the other hand, include circumstances, events, and other people's actions, factors over which we have little to no influence. When it comes to relationships, it's natural to focus on externals, worrying about how our partner behaves, what they think of us, or whether the relationship will last. However, Stoicism encourages us to shift our focus inward, to the realm of the internals, where our true power resides. By concentrating on what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and responses, we liberate ourselves from the tyranny of external circumstances. This doesn't mean ignoring external factors entirely. Rather, it means acknowledging them without allowing them to dictate our inner state. Consider a common scenario. Your partner seems distant and uncommunicative. In this situation, it's easy to become consumed by worry and speculation. What did I do wrong? Are they losing interest in me? However, from a Stoic perspective, dwelling on these questions serves no purpose. Instead, focus on what you can control, your own behavior and attitude. Perhaps you can choose to respond with patience and understanding, giving your partner the space they seem to need. Or maybe you can use this opportunity to reflect on your own feelings and communicate them openly and honestly. By focusing on your own actions and responses, you maintain your inner peace and integrity, regardless of external circumstances. Stoicism also teaches us to cultivate a sense of detachment from outcomes. While we can influence the direction of a relationship through our actions, we ultimately cannot control how others will respond. Therefore, it's essential to detach ourselves from the expectation that our efforts will always yield the desired results. For example, let's say you express your feelings to your partner, hoping for a specific response. However, they react differently than you anticipated, leaving you feeling disappointed and frustrated. In this situation, Stoicism encourages us to accept the outcome with equanimity, recognizing that we cannot control how others feel or act. This doesn't mean giving up on expressing your needs or desires. Rather, it means releasing attachment to specific outcomes. By focusing on what you can control, your honesty, vulnerability, and communication, you honor your own authenticity, regardless of how others respond. Moreover, by focusing on what we can control, we empower ourselves to take proactive steps toward building healthy, fulfilling relationships. Instead of passively waiting for things to happen, we become active participants in shaping our own destinies. For instance, if you desire a deeper connection with your partner, focus on strengthening your bond through meaningful conversations, shared experiences, and acts of kindness. By investing in the things within your control, you create the conditions for growth and intimacy to flourish. In summary, the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control is a powerful guiding light in the realm of relationships. By directing our attention inward, toward our thoughts, actions, and responses, we cultivate resilience, integrity, and authenticity. We learn to navigate the ebb and flow of human connection with grace and wisdom, fostering deeper, more fulfilling relationships along the way. So, remember, focus on what you can control, and let go of the rest. Number 5. Failed communication presents a daunting obstacle. What occurs when communication within a relationship falters? When efforts to discuss matters yield no results, finding common ground feels like an impossible task, and mutual understanding appears distant. This isn't merely a minor setback, it's a warning sign indicating deeper underlying issues that require attention. And indeed, Stoicism, with its timeless insights, offers guidance in this arena. Effective communication serves as the lifeblood of any flourishing relationship. It's how we articulate our needs, convey our thoughts, and forge meaningful connections. Without it, we're essentially navigating our relationships blindly, guessing at the thoughts or feelings of the other person, often inaccurately. The Stoics recognized the value of clear, honest communication. They practiced it in their lives and advocated for it in their teachings, stressing the importance of listening, understanding, and responding with wisdom and empathy. So, what do we do when communication breaks down? First and foremost, it's crucial to acknowledge that failed communication is often a symptom of deeper issues. It could stem from a lack of trust, unresolved resentments, or simply different communication styles. Whatever the root cause, Stoicism teaches us to approach the problem with clarity and an open heart. Marcus Aurelius, a staunch proponent of reason and logic in navigating life's challenges, would likely advise applying these same principles to communication issues. This involves stepping back, minimizing emotions, and objectively analyzing the situation. Where is the breakdown occurring? Why? What steps can be taken to enhance it? Improving communication demands effort from all parties involved. It's about fostering a safe environment where each person feels heard and valued. It entails active listening, seeking to understand the other's perspective genuinely. It's about expressing oneself clearly and respectfully, devoid of accusations or presumptions. And perhaps most importantly, it's about exercising patience and persistence even when progress seems elusive. Stoicism also underscores the significance of empathy and compassion in communication. Remember, everyone has their own struggles, fears, and insecurities. What may seem like hostility or indifference might actually be a defense mechanism. By approaching communications with empathy, we pave the way for deeper understanding and connection. Failed communication needn't mark the end of a relationship. Rather, it can be an opportunity for growth for both individuals and the relationship itself. It's a chance to learn more about each other, hone communication skills, and foster a stronger, more resilient bond. So, if you're grappling with communication challenges, take a moment to reflect on Stoic principles, clarity, honesty, and empathy. Use them as your compass to navigate through the issues. Remember, the goal isn't just to talk more, but to communicate better. In the richness of effective communication, we discover the true essence of connection and understanding, the very foundations upon which meaningful relationships are built. Number 6. Imagine a connection that, instead of being a haven of peace and solace, feels more like a tempest, constantly disrupting your inner calm and leaving you feeling unsettled. It's a challenge, isn't it? When those very bonds meant to enhance our lives end up costing us our peace of mind. This serves as a clear signal that it's time to pause and ponder the role such a relationship plays in our lives. Enter Stoicism, an age-old philosophy that places immense importance on tranquility. It teaches us to nurture a state of inner calm that remains undisturbed by external circumstances. The Stoics believed that peace of mind isn't just a precious asset, it's essential for living a fulfilling life. They taught us to maintain our equanimity in the face of life's fluctuations, including how we navigate our relationships with wisdom and discernment. So, what do we do when a relationship consistently disrupts our tranquility? First and foremost, Stoicism encourages us to take a step back and analyze the situation objectively. Ask yourself, why does this relationship disturb my peace? Is it the other person's behavior, unresolved conflicts, or perhaps my own reactions and expectations that are to blame? This process of self-examination is crucial because it shifts us from emotional reaction to rational response. Once we've pinpointed the source of the disturbance, the next step is to consider what can be changed. Can the issues be addressed through open and honest communication? Are there boundaries that need to be established or reinforced? Remember, Stoicism doesn't promote passive acceptance of all situations. While it teaches us to accept what we cannot change, it also encourages us to take action where we can make a positive difference. However, if after careful consideration and effort, the relationship continues to be a source of turmoil, it may be time to reassess its place in your life. This isn't about giving up at the first sign of trouble. It's about recognizing when a relationship fundamentally clashes with your values and your pursuit of tranquility. The decision to distance yourself from a relationship that disrupts your peace isn't to be taken lightly. It requires courage, honesty, and sometimes, the willingness to let go for the sake of your own well-being. But remember, the Stoic aim isn't to eradicate all discomfort from our lives. It's about cultivating inner resilience that allows us to face challenges with equanimity. Ultimately, The relationships we choose to maintain should bolster our pursuit of tranquility, not undermine it. They should be sources of strength, growth, and joy, not constant unrest. So, if you find yourself constantly disturbed by a relationship, view it as an opportunity to apply Stoic wisdom. Reflect, evaluate, and choose the path that leads to peace. Let's strive to surround ourselves with people who contribute to our tranquility, honoring not only the teachings of Stoicism but also our own journey toward a life of peace, purpose, and profound fulfillment. Remember, the quality of our lives is significantly influenced by the quality of our relationships. It's about finding balance, embracing truth, cultivating respect, and, above all, ensuring our connections enrich our lives without compromising our peace. Number 7. When it comes to relationships, authenticity is like a magnet that draws people towards us. Authenticity is the quality of being true to oneself, of not pretending to be someone we're not in order to gain someone else's approval or affection. In the realm of love and romance, authenticity is not only attractive, it's essential for building meaningful connections. Imagine this scenario. You meet someone you're interested in, and you decide to put on a facade to impress them. You agree with everything they say, suppress your own opinions, and mold yourself into what you think they want. At first, it might seem to work. They're showing interest, laughing at your jokes, and everything seems to be going well. But beneath the surface, there's a fundamental problem. By pretending to be someone you're not, you're building a relationship on shaky ground. It's like constructing a house on a foundation of sand. It may look fine on the surface, but eventually, it's going to crumble. Authenticity is the bedrock upon which healthy relationships are built. When we're authentic, we invite others to see us as we truly are, flaws and all. Think about the people in your life whom you admire and respect the most. Chances are, they're the ones who are unapologetically themselves, who don't try to hide their quirks or vulnerabilities. Authenticity is magnetic because it's rare. In a world where so many people wear masks to hide their insecurities, someone who is genuine stands out like a beacon of light. But authenticity isn't just about being true to ourselves, it's also about being honest with others. This means communicating openly and transparently, even when it's uncomfortable. Authentic relationships are built on a foundation of trust, and trust can only be cultivated through honesty and vulnerability. When we chase love, we sacrifice authenticity in favor of conformity. We mold ourselves into what we think the other person wants, rather than being true to who we are. But here's the paradox: the more we try to be someone we're not, the less attractive we become. People are drawn to authenticity like moths to a flame because it signals confidence, self-awareness, and integrity. Authenticity also fosters deeper connections because it allows us to truly see and be seen by another person. When we're authentic, we invite others to share in our joys, our struggles, and our triumphs. We create a space where both parties can be vulnerable without fear of judgment or rejection. But perhaps the most powerful aspect of authenticity is its ability to weed out incompatible partners. When we're true to ourselves, we naturally repel those who don't resonate with who we are. This might sound counterintuitive. After all, shouldn't we want to attract as many potential partners as possible? But the truth is, not every connection is meant to last. By being authentic, we filter out those who are not aligned with our values, goals, and vision for the future. In essence, authenticity is the antidote to chasing love. Instead of trying to win someone over by pretending to be someone we're not, we should embrace our true selves and trust that the right person will be drawn to us for who we are. So, the next time you're tempted to chase love, remember this: authenticity is the key to genuine connection. Number 8. In the labyrinth of our relationships, we've all experienced the whirlwind of negative emotions at some point. Have you ever found yourself amidst the drama, where support feels like a distant memory? It's draining, isn't it? Marcus Aurelius, a sage of ancient wisdom, had profound insights into managing our emotional turmoil. He famously stated that while we can't control external events, we do have mastery over our minds. This realization is transformative, especially in the context of relationships laden with jealousy, anger, or any other toxic emotion. Consider this: if your relationship resembles a battlefield more than a sanctuary, it's a clear sign that something needs to change. Emotions are an integral part of the human experience, but they shouldn't dictate the essence of a lasting relationship. I'm not suggesting we strive to live devoid of anger or jealousy. That would be like trying to breathe without air. However, Marcus Aurelius teaches us that we hold the reins to our reactions. Whether it's jealousy over a friend's success or anger at someone undermining you, you have the power to choose your response. But how do we put this into practice? It begins with awareness. Recognize when these emotions arise and question their origin. Why do I feel this way? What can I learn from it? How can I respond in a manner aligned with my values? These questions aren't easy, but they're crucial. Sometimes, the healthiest response is creating space or initiating change. It's not about evading problems, but acknowledging when a relationship is dragging us into negative spirals. It doesn't imply failure or villainy. It's understanding that some relationships aren't meant to endure every season of our lives, and that's okay. The Stoics believed in living in harmony with nature. Sometimes, the natural course is to grow apart. So, if you're constantly grappling with negativity in your relationships, pause and reflect on Marcus Aurelius's wisdom. You hold power over your mind, reactions, and ultimately, your choice of relationships. Let's not allow drama to define our connections. Instead, let's foster relationships rooted in respect, understanding, and genuine support. These are the bonds that withstand time's trials and bring out the best in us. Number 9. The absence of mutual reverence can be a relationship killer. Think about it. Without respect, what foundation do we really have? It's akin to constructing a house on shifting sand. Eventually, everything will come crashing down. The Stoics, who were deeply invested in the notion of leading a virtuous life, placed significant importance on self-esteem and the respect we extend to others. They believe that every individual possesses inherent value and dignity, and this belief should be mirrored in our treatment of one another. So, if you're finding yourself in a relationship where your dignity isn't being honored, it's a major warning sign. It's not merely about feeling undervalued. It's about realizing that a core aspect of your humanity is being ignored. Mutual respect is the cornerstone of any healthy bond. It's the bedrock upon which trust, love, and authentic understanding are built. Without it, what remains? You're left with a connection that's empty, unfulfilling, and frankly, not worth your precious time and emotional investment. Now, some of you might be thinking, but what if it's more complicated than that? What if I truly care about this person? Fair questions. Relationships are intricate, and emotions run deep. However, this is where the wisdom of Stoicism can offer guidance. The Stoics advocated for clarity, rationality, and living in harmony with our highest principles. They would urge us to step back and evaluate our relationships through this lens. Are we being true to ourselves by staying in a situation where we're not respected? Are we honoring our inherent worth and the virtues we strive to embody? If the answer is no, then it might be time for a serious reevaluation. This doesn't necessarily mean abruptly cutting ties with someone. Instead, it's about recognizing your own value and making decisions that reflect that. It might involve establishing clearer boundaries, having an open conversation about your feelings, or, in some cases, acknowledging that it's time to part ways. Remember, respecting yourself and insisting on being treated with respect by others is not selfish or unreasonable. It's a manifestation of the self-worth that the Stoics believed each of us should nurture. It's about living with integrity and ensuring that our relationships mirror the respect and virtue we aspire to in our own lives. So, if you're grappling with a lack of mutual respect, Take a moment to contemplate what that means for your well-being. Consider how you can address this issue in a way that upholds your dignity and principles. Because, ultimately, every one of us deserves to be in relationships where we're treated with the same respect and consideration we extend. Let's strive to foster connections rooted in mutual respect, where each individual is valued and appreciated for who they are. That's the kind of relationship that not only survives but flourishes, embodying the essence of living a life grounded in Stoic wisdom and virtue. Number 10. Addressing abuse is a challenging but imperative issue that we must confront. Abuse, whether physical, emotional, verbal, or psychological, is a clear indication that it's time to end the relationship. Stoicism, a philosophy deeply rooted in principles of dignity, self-respect, and the value of human spirit, unequivocally denounces any form of abuse. This behavior not only goes against Stoic principles of self-respect and respect for others, but also undermines the trust and safety essential for healthy relationships. Stoicism teaches us to recognize our inherent worth and emphasizes the importance of maintaining our dignity and self-respect. These are not just abstract ideas, they are practical guidelines for action, especially in challenging times. When facing situations where these principles are violated, Stoicism encourages us to act, not out of anger, but out of respect for ourselves and our well-being. Abuse tramples on dignity and self-respect, aiming to diminish the victim's sense of self and instill fear. This is entirely opposed to Stoic values. The Stoic response is clear: seeking help and leaving the abusive relationship is not only important but necessary. It aligns with Stoic ideals of living a virtuous and dignified life that respects the worth of every individual, starting with oneself. Leaving an abusive relationship is one of the toughest decisions one may face, requiring immense courage, strength, and often support. Here, the Stoic practice of seeking wisdom from those who faced similar challenges or professionals becomes invaluable. Seeking help is not weakness but strength, affirming one's worth and commitment to a life free from harm. Stoicism doesn't stop at leaving abusive situations. It emphasizes the process of healing and reclaiming dignity and self-respect. While we can't control others' actions, we can control our responses and how we move forward. Healing from abuse is a Stoic journey of reasserting control over our inner world, reaffirming our values, and rebuilding our lives in alignment with those values. If you're facing abuse, know it's not your fault, and you're not alone. Seeking help, leaning on support, and leaving such a situation behind reflect the utmost respect for yourself. These steps lead to a life where dignity, self-respect, and well-being are prioritized, as they should be. In the spirit of Stoicism, let's value ourselves, respect our worth, and take decisive action to remove ourselves from harmful situations. Let's stand firm in our commitment to dignity, self-respect, and a life rich in virtue and meaning, free from abuse. Number 11. Feeling bound to illusions rather than reality. Stoicism at its core revolves around acceptance. Accepting the truth of our lives, our connections, and the world around us, not as we desire them to be, but as they truly exist. The Stoics, with their practical and down-to-earth approach to life, teach us that there's immense strength and freedom in perceiving things clearly, without the rosy tint that illusions often bring. So, what does this mean for our relationships? It means taking a sincere, unfiltered look at them and questioning whether they're grounded in reality or if we're holding onto fantasies. Are we ignoring warning signs, overlooking problems, or creating an image of someone that doesn't align with reality? If so, we're not doing any favors for ourselves or our partners. Being tethered to illusions in a relationship can feel like being trapped in a desert oasis. From afar, everything seems flawless, but up close, you realize it's just a mirage, lacking substance and truth. This isn't to say hope and aspirations have no place in relationships, they do. But there's a delicate balance between healthy aspirations and losing ourselves in fantasies that hinder genuine connection. Embracing the truth, as the Stoics would advocate, involves confronting these illusions directly. It's about having the bravery to recognize and accept the reality of our relationships, even when it's uncomfortable or painful. This is no small feat. It demands honesty and vulnerability, yet there's immense power in truth. It forms the bedrock of authentic, meaningful relationships. Choosing reality over illusion can be transformative. It might mean realizing a relationship isn't what you thought, or the person you're with isn't who you hoped they'd be. This realization can be bitter, but it's a vital step towards genuine growth and emotional liberation. It creates space for authentic relationships, where love is given and received for who you truly are, not the illusions you've crafted. So, if you feel tied to illusions, pause to reflect. What parts of your relationship are genuine, and what parts have you embellished or imagined? How does this alignment, or lack thereof, impact your happiness and well-being? Remember, Stoicism isn't about pessimism or resigning to misery. It's about finding peace and contentment by embracing the truth of reality. Let's challenge ourselves to view our relationships through the lens of Stoic acceptance. Let's welcome the truth, no matter how difficult, and in doing so, open ourselves to genuine, fulfilling connections that enrich our lives profoundly. Because in the clarity of truth, we discover the path to true happiness and love. In the last section, we will share some Stoic habits to help you solve problems with people. Number 1. Be patient. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about patience. He saw it not just as passive waiting, but as active engagement with the present moment, whatever it may hold. To him, being patient was akin to donning armor against the trials of life, transforming potential irritations into lessons of endurance and calm. Think about it. When you're stuck in traffic, there's a kind of freedom in accepting you can't move faster than the cars in front of you. It's an opportunity to listen to your favorite music, an audiobook, or simply to your own thoughts. This shift doesn't change the traffic, but it changes how you experience it, turning a frustrating wait into a moment of peace or even enjoyment. Similarly, when dealing with a challenging person, imagine if instead of reacting with irritation or anger, you respond with patience. You give yourself a moment to understand where they're coming from, to recognize that their behavior is more about their own struggles than anything else. This doesn't mean you accept bad behavior, but you respond to it with composure and thoughtfulness, which often diffuses tension and leads to better outcomes for everyone involved. Patience, in the Stoic sense, is about embracing the moment rather than fighting against it. It's about seeing the delay, the annoyance, or the obstacle as part of the path, not a deviation from it. Every moment of impatience is a chance to practice, to deepen your understanding of Stoicism, and to cultivate a serene mind. But how can we cultivate this patience in our everyday lives? It starts with awareness. Recognize when impatience is starting to bubble up inside you, then pause. Take a deep breath and remember Marcus Aurelius and the countless others who have faced far greater trials with patience and dignity. Another practical step is to adjust your expectations. Often, our impatience stems from things not going according to our plan. But if we remind ourselves that we're not in control of everything, only our response to things, we can set more realistic expectations and find peace in the unfolding of life. However it happens, view each test of patience as an opportunity, not a hurdle. Like a muscle that gets stronger with exercise, your capacity for patience grows every time you choose it over frustration or anger, and the rewards are immense: a calmer mind, less stress, and a reputation as someone who is composed and thoughtful even in challenging situations. Number 2. Honesty is the best policy. When it comes to honesty, it's more than just refraining from lying to others. Stoicism encourages us to dive deeper into honesty. It's about aligning our external actions and words with our internal values and beliefs. This alignment brings a sense of integrity and wholeness that's truly profound. Imagine the peace that comes from knowing your actions reflect your true self, not just a facade. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, emphasizes this deeply. He suggests that honesty isn't just morally right, it's also practical. Deceit requires constant upkeep, remembering lies, covering tracks, and living in fear of being exposed. On the contrary, honesty is simple and liberating. It frees us from the burden of deceit and allows us to live with ease and clarity. But here's the thing, honesty doesn't just impact our relationships with others, but also with ourselves. When we're honest with ourselves about our strengths, flaws, and desires, we open the door to genuine growth and self-acceptance. It's like decluttering our minds to make space for more peace, understanding, and authentic connections. However, embracing honesty isn't always easy. It takes courage and vulnerability. It means admitting when we're wrong, facing our mistakes, and dealing with the consequences. But the rewards, trust, respect, and a clear conscience are invaluable. So, how can we cultivate this virtue in our daily lives? It starts with small steps. Practice transparency in your interactions. Reflect on your day and acknowledge moments where you might not have been entirely honest. Ask yourself why and how you can improve. Remember, it's a journey, and every step towards honesty is a step towards a more serene and meaningful life. We've all experienced that sharp sting when someone's words or actions seem to hit us right where it hurts. Seneca, with his profound understanding of human nature, encourages us to look beyond the surface. He suggests that when someone acts in a hurtful or offensive way, it's often not about us at all. People act based on their perceptions, struggles, and history. It's like everyone is wearing a unique pair of glasses that colors how they see everything, including us. Think about a time when you snapped at someone or acted out of character. Chances are, you were dealing with something else, stress, fear, insecurity, or just a bad day. Now, if we can recognize this in ourselves, why not extend that same understanding to others? This perspective shift, which Seneca advocates, is about empathy, but it's also about self-preservation. When we stop taking things personally, we release ourselves from unnecessary pain, as if setting down a heavy burden we've been carrying. Suddenly, we can breathe, move, and live more freely. But how do we actually do this, especially when our emotions are already flaring up? It starts with a pause. When you feel that rush of hurt or anger, just pause. Take a breath and remind yourself of Seneca's words, "This might not be about me at all." This simple act of pausing can prevent a reactive spiral and give you space to choose a more reasoned response. It's also about building resilience and understanding. The more we remind ourselves that we don't have the full picture of what someone else is going through, the less likely we are to be wounded by their actions or words. And when we do get hurt, because it will happen, we can treat it as a practice ground for our Stoic principles. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can it help me grow? In embracing this Stoic approach, we not only protect our peace of mind, but also open ourselves up to more compassionate and meaningful interactions. We become less reactive, more understanding, and in a way, more connected to the humanity in everyone we meet. Number 3, eliminate negativity. It seems everywhere we turn, social media, news outlets, even our daily interactions, there's a barrage of negativity, criticism, and yes, the haters. It can be exhausting. But they don't have to dictate your happiness. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about maintaining one's inner peace amidst external turmoil. He spoke of the inner citadel, a fortress within us that no external negativity can breach unless we allow it. This concept is incredibly empowering. Think about it. You have the power to create and maintain a space of peace and calm within you, no matter what storms rage outside. So, how do we shut out the negativity and safeguard our inner fortress? First and foremost, it's about acknowledging what we can and cannot control. We can't control the words or actions of others, the harsh criticisms they throw our way, or the unkind rumors they spread. But what we can control is our response. We can choose not to get involved, not to let their negativity seep into us, and not to let it disrupt our peace of mind. Another vital strategy from the Stoic playbook is to delve into the intentions behind the negativity. Often, those who lash out are battling their own demons, struggling with insecurities or pain. Understanding this doesn't excuse their behavior, but it allows us to respond with empathy rather than defensiveness or rage. It enables us to see their negativity as their burden, not ours. Practicing mindfulness is also a potent tool in fortifying our inner fortress. When faced with negativity, take a moment to pause, breathe, and remind yourself that this negativity is temporary, it will pass. You don't have to let it dictate your day or your mood. By staying grounded and present, you can maintain your inner peace. Surrounding yourself with positivity is crucial. Engage with uplifting content, connect with supportive individuals, and fill your surroundings with things that bring you joy. Remember, you have the power to shape your own life experience. Choose positivity and let negativity slide away. Remember, shutting out the haters isn't about building walls or becoming indifferent. It's about directing your energy and attention where it matters. It's about safeguarding your inner peace and resilience so you can tackle challenges with grace. Number 4. Become an example. Epictetus knew a thing or two about adversity and integrity. He didn't just lecture about Stoicism in the classroom, he lived it every single day, and he encouraged his students to do the same. To embody your philosophy is about making your life a testament to your values, letting your actions speak louder than your words. Imagine the ripple effect you can create by simply living out your principles. When you show kindness, even in challenging situations, others take notice. It might inspire them to act kindly in turn. When you demonstrate integrity, refusing to compromise on your values, it sets a standard for those around you. And when you face adversity with resilience, maintaining a calm and composed demeanor, it can be a beacon of hope for others who are struggling. But how do we actually do this? How do we become an example for others? It starts with self-reflection. Take a moment to consider the values that are truly important to you. What principles do you want to guide your life? Once you have clarity on these, strive to align your actions with your values. It's about making conscious choices every day that reflect who you are and what you stand for. Of course, nobody's perfect. We all have our moments of weakness, our lapses in judgment. But being an example isn't about perfection. It's about striving, about making a genuine effort to live according to your ideals even when it's hard. And when you do slip up, it's about owning your mistakes, learning from them, and moving forward with even greater resolve. Another key aspect of being an example is consistency. It's not just about doing the right thing when it's easy or when people are watching. It's about being consistent in your values whether you're in the spotlight or alone. This consistency builds trust and respect, and it's what truly sets an example for others. Let's take inspiration from Epictetus and strive to be living embodiments of our philosophy. Whether it's kindness, integrity, resilience, or any other virtue, let's bring it to life in our actions. Remember, you have the power to inspire, to influence, and to make a positive impact on the world around you. Be the change you wish to see, and watch how your example can light the way for others. Number 5. Completely ignore others' opinions. Do you ever find yourself tangled in the web of others' opinions? We often sacrifice our peace of mind trying to fit into molds created by others. But what if we pause to dive into the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius? He emphasized the futility of seeking external approval, urging us to break free from the chains of validation. Imagine the freedom of being unapologetically you. It's your own approval you truly need. So why not make your thoughts about your true self, your values, and your actions? When you're aligned with your beliefs, there's a profound peace that external validation can't match. But how do we care less about what others think? It starts with understanding and reaffirming your values. What do you stand for? What matters most to you? Embracing your uniqueness attracts the right people into your life, those who appreciate you for who you truly are. It's about quality, not quantity. Remember, people's opinions are just that, opinions. They're subjective and often more about the person expressing them than about you. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the only true validation comes from within, from living a life aligned with your values and principles. Number 6. Love your actions. While Stoicism may seem focused on rationality, love also holds a significant place. Seneca tells us that love isn't just a feeling, it's an action. It's an active, vibrant energy that we radiate into the world, and it has a beautiful way of coming back to us, often from unexpected sources. But what does it mean to be full of love in a Stoic sense? It's about approaching every interaction and every person with goodwill and benevolence. It's about seeing the humanity in everyone, even those who are difficult to deal with. It means genuinely wishing well for others, desiring their happiness and well-being, regardless of their feelings toward us. This isn't always easy, especially in the face of negativity or hostility, but it's a stance that can transform not only our lives, but also the lives of those around us. Being full of love also entails practicing forgiveness and understanding. Everyone is fighting their own battles, carrying their own burdens. By choosing love and compassion, we lighten their load and our own. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us that love extends beyond our relationships with people. It's about cultivating a loving relationship with life itself, embracing all its ups and downs. It's finding joy in the simple things, appreciating the beauty around us, and engaging with the world in a positive, meaningful manner. How do we infuse our lives with the Stoic embrace of love? Let's start small. Offer a kind word to a stranger, show appreciation to those dear to you, and practice gratitude daily. Reflect on your actions and intentions, asking yourself if they stem from love and kindness. When faced with negativity or unkindness, respond with understanding and compassion. Being full of love doesn't mean being naive or turning a blind eye to the world's harsh realities. It's about confronting those realities with love rather than fear or anger, a courageous choice that leads to true contentment and connection. Number 7. Stop comparison. How often do we find ourselves scrolling through social media, feeling inadequate as we compare our lives to others' highlight reels? Here's a Stoic antidote. Focus on your own journey, your growth, and your achievements. The Stoics, with their profound wisdom, teach us that the only comparison worth making is with our past selves, not with others. Imagine freeing yourself from the endless cycle of comparison, worry, and feeling inadequate. By embracing your unique path, you honor yourself and cultivate a sense of self-worth independent of external validation. But how do we make this mindset a reality, especially in a world that pushes us to compare and compete? First, become mindful of when you're making comparisons. Notice that envy or self-doubt, acknowledge it, and then remind yourself that your path is yours alone. Next, actively celebrate your achievements, no matter how small. Did you conquer a tough task at work? Show kindness to a stranger? Practice self-care? These are all victories worthy of celebration. By doing so, you reinforce the idea that your journey matters. Another powerful Stoic practice is reflecting on your personal growth. Look back at where you were a year, 5 years, or even a decade ago. Recognize the progress you've made, the obstacles you've overcome, and the lessons you've learned. This reflection not only boosts your self-esteem but also deepens your appreciation for your unique journey. And remember, Stoics didn't just measure achievements in terms of career success or material wealth. They valued wisdom, virtue, resilience, and inner peace. So when assessing your progress, consider these deeper, more meaningful markers of growth. Are you more patient, more compassionate, more resilient? These are the achievements that truly reflect your growth as a person. In the whirlwind of our daily lives, it's easy to get lost in the minutiae, the endless to-do lists, and the relentless pursuit of personal goals. But Stoicism reminds us of what truly matters, the connections we share with the people we love. While Stoicism may seem like it's solely about self-discipline and resilience, at its core, it's deeply rooted in community and relationships. The Stoics recognize the fleeting nature of life, urging us to cherish every moment with our loved ones, not taking a single second for granted. They taught us to live in the present, to value those who bring meaning and joy into our lives. But how do we translate this wisdom into action, especially in our hectic lives? It begins with mindfulness, making a conscious effort to be fully present with our loved ones. It means truly listening when they speak, engaging with them wholeheartedly, and demonstrating through our actions that they hold significance in our lives. Expressing gratitude is another vital aspect. It's about letting our loved ones know that we appreciate them, not just in grand gestures, but in the everyday moments that define our relationships. A simple thank you, a note of appreciation, or a kind word can speak volumes, acknowledging the value they bring to our lives. And then there's expressing love, which can take countless forms tailored to each person and relationship. Whether it's spending quality time together, offering support during tough times, or sharing joys and successes, love in the Stoic sense is active and engaged. It's about showing up for one another. Making time for our loved ones is perhaps the most crucial part. In our busy lives, it's easy to let relationships slide, assuming people will always be there. But the Stoic reminder of life's impermanence urges us to prioritize our connections, to carve out time for those who matter most, even amidst life's chaos. Cherishing our loved ones means recognizing their irreplaceable role in our lives and honoring that with our time, attention, and affection. It's about nurturing those bonds, knowing they are the true source of richness and meaning in our lives. Remember, life's journey is shared with those we hold dear. Treasure every moment, seize every opportunity to show love, and never underestimate the power of simply being present. If you have made it this far in the video, then thank you for being a part of this incredible journey. Take it easy, and I will see you soon.